Hello, hello. So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm just going to wait like 30 seconds before we start the streaming today. Also, let me set up here everything regarding to the chat. Perfect. So, I have here everything. I'm reading the chat in real time. So, if you want to say something, please feel free to do it. I'm watching it live. And yeah, well, great to see you again. First of all, I would like to tell you why in so much time I didn't do any live update personally. Of course, community managers and everybody was always in touch. First of all, because I've been doing a lot of conferences and you always have access to what I think and to what RealFevr is developing based in that conferences. So the content is always there with you. And the second one, because there was a certain moment last year where I think people was too stressed around what we were doing. And I just decided that it will be much better, to protect myself a bit, to focus in the building instead of just, spending half of my day just trying to prove to someone else what someone else will never accept to be proved. So with that said, I want to start first of all with, it was a really, really great 10 months of working. We have done a lot of improvements in the company, also recruitment. Today we doubled the team basically. And it was a hard and dramatic challenge to secure more IP to keep the company growth. At the same time, since the very first beginning, our challenge was always to let me put this like this. I really don't believe in NFTs without utility. I think there was a huge hype during this last year, in the beginning of this year, and then I think in 1 to 3 years, only the projects with direct utility to their NFTs will survive. All the others, we are talking just about hype. We are talking about speculation. We are talking about, even famous people from cinema, from football, from other sports, just pumping the hype and then, crash and burn in the end. And we had a lot of examples like with John Terry in England and some other projects that they created a hype and then they disappear. I cannot call it a rug pull, but anyways, it is something like that. And when you take a look at RealFevr, what I can guarantee you 100% is we ain't go nowhere through disappearing. And for us, the idea was how and when and how much time will we need to find that utility. And if we compare ourselves with our biggest competitors like Dapper or Sorare or any other, I would say that in terms of industry at this stage, almost everybody is having the same challenge. So in the end of last year, the first thing we started was an internal pilot for the Fever Battle Arena. And I'm super, super, super excited with the Alpha 2 stage. And I want to say thank you to all the people that was supporting and displaying every day the Fever Battle Arena. The Battle Arena is already playable, not close to the final approach that we want to do to the market in live production. But anyways, in terms of game mechanics, game mathematics, the whole scope is already done, functional and working. We need to improve the design. We need to improve some other features, but it is a magnificent product that will put RealFevr ahead of, I would say, 95% of the market. And speaking about the market, why will we be ahead 90%, 95% ahead of the market? Because most of the projects during this bloodbath, these dramatic days after the fall of Luna and some other ones, I would say more than 70% of the companies will just disappear because they were just relying in crypto tokens and nothing else. So as I always told you, RealFevr is not a company just based and just exposed to the crypto economy. We hedge the company both in equity financing and crypto. And at the same time, I would say that in Europe, I'm also very proud of it. I would say that we are one of the few that is 100% compliant with whatever regulation that exists in Portugal and eventually in the whole European zone. So with that said, let me share my screen quite fast because I want to highlight some very, very important points that we have done, and I cannot avoid it in any way. So I think one of the most, I'm not going to say undervalued items or undervalued features in RealFevr at this stage, but at least I think it's one of the most important features in terms of technology that we achieved. And I'm talking about the Dropbook. So the Dropbook, as you know, it had a roadmap of development with multiple delivers, but basically today, technologically speaking, we can create wherever Dropbook because technology is already there, it's already working. So what we have done was the Dropbook of the first drop. All the uniques are here, all the NFTs are here. You can buy the ones that you are missing, and also the progress and rewards. It is already working without any critical bug. So, and with specific rewards, when you collect, you get them, you know. So I think one of the, and to share with you what was our work during this year, and eventually is a challenge for the whole industry, is we have too much speculators at the moment. And the international reports, they all speak about, okay, more than 80% of the persons who bought an NFT, they were just expecting to make money out of it and not really to collect because they like it or whatever. And most of the people, in fact, they just reported that they don't care what is the NFT, the asset, the image, the video, whatever. They just care about buy low, sell high, goodbye. And that's exactly what we want to corner in RealFevr. Of course, we have to deal with it, but you need to build the culture. You need to build the phenomenon around what we are selling. And that's why I'm going to move forward with the Italian drop, our drop 3. If you take a look of what we are dropping this stage, one of the concerns of the community and around RealFevr 10 months ago was, okay, this is too much Portuguese league, this is too much Portugal, this is too much Portuguese stuff. And I know it took time, and I apologize for that, but we will be the world first dropping something like this. And if you take a look at the page, so I'm talking about realfevr.com incoming drop. If you take a look about what we are going to drop, I have to highlight this because this is dramatically good. And the list is here, players and probabilities. Probably most of you never took a look at this Excel, but we are talking about 4 uniques. This is the first change in drop 3 that we did, because in the first 2 drops, there was just 1 unique, and we just realized that if we could amplify the number of uniques, it will be much better, not only for the reward on each pack, but also because we will need the uniques into the game. So this drop and the future drops will be always thinking not only about how cool, how badass is the drop, but also what are the players and what are the unique and legendaries that we need in the game to create a very competitive environment. So with that said, the unique will have Salvatore Sirigu, Matteo Darmian, Andrea Bellotti, and Alessio Cerci. as the uniques. Of course, this is to celebrate the history of Torino, and the 5 uniques belong to Torino's players. Torino is the first club in Italy that we set up a partnership, but the hidden gems in that content include Ronaldinho, Ibrahimovic, Paulo Dybala, Júlio Batista, Gianluigi Donnarumma, Marco Benassi, Maicon, and as the epics, Andrea Pirlo, Chesney, Frank Ribéry, Theo Fernandes, Edison Cavani, Diego Milito, Eric Lamela, Alexander Kolarov, Marco Ferrante, Sanja Lukic, Paul Lirola e Adriano Mutu, and as a special, Paul Pogba, Robinho, Adriano, Chris Smalling, Nicola Bellomo, Gianluca Pagliuca, the legendary goalkeeper from the Italian squad in the 90s, Clarence Seedorf, Christian Ansaldi, Ciro Immobile, Robin Gosens, Romelu Lukaku, and Antonio Cassano. As a commons, and because it was already as a unique and it was already as a legendary, Cristiano Ronaldo this time comes as a common, then Gianluigi Buffon, Nicolas Nicolo, Hernan Crespo, Juan Iturbe, Diego Simeone, Jorginho, Roberto Baggio, Fabio Quagliarella, Sinisa Mihailovic, Joe Hart, and to finish, but also a fantastic and historical Italian player, Francesco Totti. So with this in mind, we are not only targeting the internationalization of the company and also the celebration of the Italian Serie A, the calcio, but we are just taking RealFevr to the next level. And I can guarantee you, this I can guarantee you, I cannot guarantee you when, as you know, I never do that, but I can guarantee you that this is just the first of what we are about to bring on board. And you eventually ask me, yeah, Fred, but why? What you have done? The biggest achievement, a bit invisible for the community and a bit invisible to most of you, the biggest achievement of RealFevr during these 10 months was institutional reputation. And institutional reputation is something that most of the time people in crypto, they don't care or they don't consider that important. But in the long run, institutional reputation is everything in terms of enable you to secure strong, solid, and magnificent partners to be with you medium long term. And that's exactly what we have built in the last 10 months. The kind of network, the kind of access, you know, we remain immaculated without any kind of money laundering, drug dealing, sexual harassment, lawsuits, whatever, that most of our competitors have. We are still completely immaculated in terms of any kind of complete compliance issues internationally or here in Portugal. And, you know, we never screwed up in terms of what we promised to deliver, in terms of honoring our contracts, honoring our partners, and of course, keep in touch with the community and with our customers, which is, of course, you know, the biggest pillar of RealFevr. But also, I want to highlight in this Italian drop from culture, I want to highlight one new thing that we brought on board, which is the Ultra Pack. So one of the challenges that we brainstormed a lot internally was how can we balance much better the packs distribution compared to the last 2 drops. And one of the things that we realized was, okay, there is a trend of the allo lists that eventually we can bring on board, but how can we do it properly? So we don't want to screw up what we have done in the past. We want just, you know, to take it to the next level, but without losing any kind of product quality or fairness in terms of NFTs distribution on each pack. And the Ultra Pack is super exclusive. It is bonded to our allo list, and it's just 1 per person, not 2, not 3, just 1 per person. So For those who didn't participate yet in the allo list, I think there are a few opportunities yet. If not, of course, the balance that we created was every single pack worth to be bought. And it's not only the Ultra that is a fantastic pack. So has happened in the past, the basics had a lot of surprises in terms of legendaries and everything. So the algorithm that we are using today is really, really fine-tuned compared to what we have done in drop 1 and drop 2. And also from some intel that we got from a few of our competitors, that they were using other algorithms, and we just brought that know-how on board to improve the NFTs distribution over the packs. So what we tried to create was the perfect balance. Of course, perfection is not achievable, but we give our best to reach it. The best, price-wise, over $19, what you can get with that, over $250, what you can get with that. And I think the 4 prices, they cover almost all the types of buyers. And for those who want to spend more immediately and have less packs, there is one good solution. For those who prefer, okay, I prefer to buy really a lot, I just go only on the basics because they are cheaper. So that is also an opportunity for the people. Regarding to the allo list, I already spoke about it. Moments rarity, yeah, already spoke about it. Also, let me open this again because this information is also pertinent. When we talk about the probabilities, always take a look at the number of NFTs that will exist, and just do this math because it is what I do almost every day. The number of mints that we are doing at this stage, how much players do we need in the Fever Battle Arena to digest this every single day? And also, this was one of the reasons why we didn't drop anything in the last 9 months. And the reason was only because until you have functions to bring utility to the NFTs, whatever you drop, you are just flooding the market. And that's what exactly we try to protect ourselves and all the users from that. So with the Battle Arena coming in, now we can drop more because it will have a direct digestion. But also, let me find if there is, or even better, let me go to YouTube and check what is there. So let me read this since the beginning. Just a second. YouTube is here. Okay, let me read the chat just for a bit. I have a question, Fred, about Fever token utility. There was no utility yet. Tomislav already replied to this. Let's get the party started. Ricardo, nice to see you. Piotr, hello, Piotr from Poland. A big salutation for all our Poland fans. I presume when you said wise words decision from crypto investment, I think you were saying about the time that I worked exposing myself in the community calls, yeah. Any other NFTs taking plan to near future? Yeah, well, I think it's much more than that. So I can open the book a bit about the Battle Arena. So Battle Arena is today already, as I told you, working. For those who are playing every day, they already witnessed that. But there are 2 missing features into the Battle Arena. And one of the features I don't want to disclose at this stage, but another feature, yes, I want to disclose. So the missing feature that we have at the moment to connect both things is to find a solution to the biggest problem or the biggest bottleneck in our community, which is we have a lot of people as investors and they hold a lot of valuable NFTs and they don't sell. And then we have gamers. And the gamers, usually they don't have that much money to buy that much strong and legendary unique NFTs. So the idea is to bring on board a protocol of a peer-to-peer lending approach for your NFTs. So you as an investor, you create a deck and you publish on the marketplace for lending. And someone will get that deck, will play with the deck, and then you distribute the revenue. All the revenue shares between holder and between investor and between the gamer are dynamic. So it should be an agreement that the platform will let you configure it on each deal. And it will be 100% community driven. So our interference in terms of fees and shares will be completely independent, and each investor will decide, and then it will be the market who will decide what's better. And I think, the inspiration was pretty much about Airbnb or Uber. So there are people with houses and cars, but they don't want to sleep in that house, or they don't want to drive their car. So there are a lot of people that they need, in fact, a house to sleep and a car to go from point X to Y. And that's exactly the idea, that we want to enable our users to connect between each other. And to be quite honest, this is dramatically better than just an NFT staking Ponzi scheme that will end in Luna sooner or later. So once again, what you should always expect from RealFevr is build the product and something that makes sense, and not the easy way of NFT staking bullshit that in the end someone has to pay the interest rate. And as you know, the last one closes the door. I'm not that guy. So I'm the guy who wants to build sustainable models, and not Ponzi that will die anyways and be very harmful for the last ones who join. So good news, investment round. Regarding to investment round, there is not that much I can speak about it. Really zero at this stage, but I promise in a future call just to speak about investment round, or eventually when it happens, you will all know by a press release with a global distribution. But at this stage, I cannot speak about it. Brasileirão and Argentina, yes. Brazil. I cannot disclose that much information about Brazil, but yeah, it is in our scope for the short, medium term, not long term, short, medium. Questions in English, please. Agreements for new IP. I can tell you that there are. Yeah, let me put the things like this. 1 year ago, when we started to negotiate IP, we had almost to beg for a meeting. And we had to explain a lot of things, and with the market always in the green side, always pumping, there was people putting 10 million, 20 million, 100 million on to buy that IP. And of course, we could not compete with that. But the biggest advantage that we have at the moment is those companies are no longer paying that amount of money. So, and because our reputation and our credibility and our responsibility is much more empowered, of course, we are able to secure much better deals without having to pay, those millions that in the end, I think we'll never have a return on investment. So what we try to do are fair deals where we can scale up the product, but at the same time to be realistic and not completely, just dumping millions there for nothing. I cannot reveal that much big names. Big names coming for marketing. Yes, I cannot announce it, but after the Italian drop, 1 week after, expect a magnificent surprise from a contract that is already signed. I cannot disclose it, otherwise you will not come for the next call because you already know the news. But after the Italian drop, let's focus now on Italian drop. And then for July, we already have a very, very fantastic surprise with answering to this question. Roadmap, hi from Ukraine, big fan of RealFevr, looking for an NFT burn. Yeah, NFT burn and fusion. this is probably one of the biggest discussions we had internally in RealFevr. And we have a work group of a lot of people thinking about it. And I think today we have a model that we will implement. But at the same time, to be quite honest, I didn't see anyone fail with a failure yet in the market. And I was expecting our competitors to try to do it before us, just to see if they would fail, or at least to help us to find a very successful model. But because they are not doing it in a proper way, I think we will move forward faster. But once again, economy is all about offering and demand, right? And you just need fusion, and you just need to burn NFTs if you don't increase your customer base. Because if we increase our customer base, there is no question that we don't need to burn. In fact, we need to create more. But once again, for us, RealFevr has 2.5 verticals, two main verticals: NFTs, marketplace, packs, drops, wherever. Second vertical, Fever Battle Arena. And they both coexist together. And, the utility should be 100% crystal clear. The 0.5 is because we also have fantasy sports, which is fantastic. And it's a vertical that we will maintain. And from time to time, we'll try to improve it. So for me, it's much, much, much more important. And because we don't have an infinite human resources, we need to be very, very wise where we put our focus. And our focus are, first of all, keep dropping in a very, very steady and sustainable and smart way. Second one, prepare the Fever Battle Arena to completely shake the football rules. I can't move forward with any date. I have my team looking at me, with the dates, but there will be a huge event this year that we should, of course, target, and we will not miss that opportunity. But anyways, it is what it is. So when will the rate Fever USD be set? Immediately before pre-sale? Yeah, very good question. We will create an average price from the last 7 days. I didn't speak about. I'm going to. We are going to set an average price, and we will fix the price 24 hours before because of the allo list, and that's how it will be done. Then let me read the chat. And in real life perks for NFT holders, like tickets for games or chance to meet the players? Well, very good question. And the answer is immediately is no. No, and I explain you why. I think there is a huge mistake when people tries to connect digital NFTs with physical whatever activity. And I explain you why. Our audience is planet Earth. Planet Earth into a virtual reality or a digital reality, whatever you want to call it, where everybody is integrated. Physical places, they limit your total addressable market. Because if you want to sell something for Indonesia, Australia, Brazil, and the experience of that NFT when you redeem it is to go to whatever stadium in Europe, it's useless for that person. So I don't want to limit, to self-limit the vision and the potential of RealFevr, because I want to put people in the stadium in Portugal or in England or wherever. What I want is to have them understanding that they need to come on board to Web3 and not Web3 moving to that old school people. It's not the point, it's completely useless, at least in my perspective. But eventually I can be wrong, but I think I'm not. So no, we are not going to explore that, and especially because in terms of logistics and physical operation, it will be an effort that will bring nothing to the ecosystem. So when Fred Antunes goal NFT, well, in fact, I was in Torino last week playing in the Olympic of Turin Stadium, but I play as a goalkeeper. So, you know, to create an NFT of Fred Antunes, it will not be a goal. Eventually it will be a defense, because I'm not a fantastic goalkeeper, but at least I give my best and I'm not afraid of the strikers. So yeah, I can do something good. So last few questions. When can we have a bid mechanism in marketplace? It could boost the market. There are some deals made after some one-on-one discussion in Telegram, but having this incorporated will be huge. Yeah, what you are calling is the possibilities to create auctions. And that is already in our roadmap. And we are considering that implementation before the battle arena. So it will be something that we will definitely implement. Let me check if I'm not missing anything from my notes that eventually I will need to speak about it, but yeah, I think I spoke. Okay, and now I'm just missing the announcement of the drop date. When will be the next RealFevr drop, and to where are we going? So one of the considerations that we did regarding the drop date, as you know, we need to start a minting process or a pre-minting process of the packs. That process is already running, and everything is being prepared. Everything is being prepared for allow list 14th of June, and the drop will be 15th of June, 2 p.m. UTC time. So once again, drop 15th of June, allow list 24 hours before 14th of June. And I'm super excited, of course, especially with the players that I already presented you, and especially because there was a lot of competition in Italy to be the first one dropping these everlasting moments, but RealFevr is the first, and that no one will remove from our history. No one will remove it from Web3 history, that RealFevr was the first one to drop officially those players, and 100% compliant, 100% secured, 100% safe. And now, guys, 15th of June is time to enjoy it. To finish. Okay, so with that said, the only thing that I have to ask you is help us to spread the word. You know, like, retweet as much as possible. We keep in touch. I'm not going to come like every week to a live call like I used to do in the past, but after the drop of Italy, the drop 3, if some of you will be in New York, I'll be in New York from 21 of June, 5 days for the NFT NYC. And then I will fly to London to iSports Connect Web3 event. So if some of you will be in New York and in London, feel free to text me or drop me an email. I pay the coffee. Yeah, this is all about spreading the word, take the best possible benefit from a bear market, and then prepare all the fundamentals and prepare everything for the next bull market. We are already there. So remember, once again, for those who are newcomers to crypto, the best moment to invest is always when there are blows in the streets, not when everything is hot, you know. It is when everything is on the bottom. It's the moment where you should make your decisions. And to be quite honest, what I always tried as a CEO of RealFevr was to prove to everybody, and even to myself, that nothing will happen in a bear market, and we will last here for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And I have no doubt at all that today RealFevr is probably one of the biggest hidden gems in Lisbon, Portugal, where I am at the moment, that once it explodes to the road, we are going to be absolutely unstoppable. That's what drives me every day. That's what drives the team every day. And that's what I hope it drives you every day. 15th of June, don't forget it. We will be there, and let's